What is going on? What is going on? It's your boy, Julien Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record power lifter here, and special education teacher here to take the entire fear out of fitness. Guys, we're about to take off and class is in session. So, you see the title, Stoutt Fitness 200. So what I'm letting you guys know is I'm celebrating my 200th subscriber. I know it ain't much to y'all, but it's something to me. Because initially, when I opened this YouTube channel, I probably only had about 10. And then I kind of took it seriously and was putting a little bit of effort into it, and I got my subscribers up to like 20, 25. But the minute I started putting forth some effort, my numbers started to climb. My subscribers started to climb. And I'm here to thank every last one of you who are subscribing. Whether you're subscribing to actually learn something from me, whether you're entertained by me, or you're just hate watching. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you for everything that you have done thus far. This week has been pretty decent, even though we're in a bit of a cold snap right now, and I had a snow day to make up for the fact that I had to go to work on Friday, which was dumb in my opinion, but I don't make the rules. At least not as a teacher, I don't. Another thing that I wanted to touch base on is that, like I told you before, there's going to be new and better things coming, and I am excited to share them with you at the time most convenient for me. Okay? When that time comes, I will let you know, and I will let you know all there is to know about what we need to know. Okay? So, I am excited because 200 subscribers, after starting with minuscule numbers, no matter how long it took me, even though technically I would say this is probably my second serious year of really, this is year 2 of me being very serious about this YouTube thing. So, I just want to let you guys know I am in deep gratitude to you all that watch. And if you can, do me a favor, when you get into the chat or when you get into the building, please go ahead and like it so that way it helps the algorithm, and that way we get more people watching my channel, and also more eyes on the channel means more subscribers, Whether you agree with me or not, that's another story. But shout out to the people who have recently commented on my Kaiser Permanente Can Kiss My Ass show. That video was very popular at the time because I have to say, with all honesty, it's how I felt at the time. My wife was suffering through immense pain from what's the word I'm looking for? From a reproductive standpoint. And as a result, she needed work done. And as a result, they didn't want to pay for it, even though she's been paying for her health insurance and she should have been covered because it was doctor recommended. It wasn't something that she was just asking to do. So me personally, I feel that, and I am all for Kaiser Permanente bending over and putting their lips to my butt cheek. Straight up. Within light of what's been going on recently with the United Healthcare CEO being assassinated or murdered, however you want to call it, I don't condone violence and I will never condone violence. But is it okay to murder somebody by PDF? Is it okay to do that? Because that is essentially what these healthcare industry companies tend to do, is murder somebody via PDF. All right? But today, we got a few videos that I want to go over. I want to turn around and share with you guys, and we can go over them and we can enjoy it together. First one is the vegan confronts meat lovers. So we're going to talk about this.
This is a vegan zone. We do not animals in this zone.
They were cooking breakfast when she showed up outside.
Open this door now. I can smell what you're up to. You're cooking meat. It's disgusting. It must be like a butcher's shop in there. Just go and live somewhere else where you can cook meat to your heart's content.
So, y'all want to hear it again? Let's go back.
This is a vegan zone. We do not animals in this zone.
They were cooking breakfast when she...
So, first of all, I'm in my house and I'm cooking, minding my own business, enjoying what I enjoy. And then my next door neighbor comes to harass me. Not me directly, personally. This is not me because clearly they're British. But, not like British people don't live in America, but she knocks on my door or rings my doorbell and demands that I open the door. For what? First of all, you're a psycho. You're in straight Looney Tune mode right now. You are about to go off the deep end. You are bugging. You are wilding right now. And you think I'm going to open my door? To do what? To have a conversation with you about what I do in my house? We're not going to pass much judgment. But she doesn't look like she's wrapped too tight. Some people, dare I say, mistaked her for an effeminate man. And the thing is, doesn't matter, you're still crazy. You gonna come to my door and demand that I open it because I'm cooking what I want to eat for breakfast. Whether it's sausage, whether it's bacon, whether it's ham, whether it's steak, whether it's hot dogs, I don't care what I'm cooking. I'm cooking something. I'm making some eggs. And because you can smell it, you're losing your mind. Now, this is one of those things where this is the mindset of individuals that they feel entitled to have a position. If you want to be a vegan, be a vegan. If you want to be a vegetarian, be a vegetarian. Lacto-ovo, by all means, do so. However, what I do with my body and my house, my business is stay the hell away from it, because you are crossing over a lot of boundaries. I don't get to tell you what to do in your house, whatever it is. Whether you're making tomato cake, or whether you're making some grits, or whether you're making, whatever you're making, it doesn't matter what you're making. Fun fact, for those of y'all who, again, I've already addressed this once, but I'm going to reiterate it again. For those of you vegans out there who, I don't have a problem with a vegan directly, so I don't want y'all coming for me and thinking that I'm attacking vegans. But the vegans that think that they have a moral high ground in what the Eat Olympics, bad news for you. Your food is alive too. It's just that yours doesn't scream, and yours doesn't scream at a sound that you can hear. Correction. And yours doesn't bleed in a fashion to which is displeasing to the senses. So to watch something bleed can be somewhat disheartening, can be somewhat demoralizing, can be somewhat traumatizing. And I understand that. That's totally understandable. But just because what you associate with bleeding is not the same association with bleeding that comes with a plant. When you cut a plant, it leaks fluid. Does it not mean it's bleeding? Is it not fluid that provides it nourishment for life? Because if it is, that would essentially be bleeding. It's not necessarily bleeding because it's not considered literally blood, but that green fluid that's leaking out of that plant, that red fluid, that purple fluid, whatever natural color that plant is that you decided to either rip out of the ground, cut out of the ground, or cut from its branches, or whatever it is, it still bleeds. And it also screams, you just can't hear it. What if we can lower the frequency to a sound that you can actually hear? Would you still be able to cut that plant and eat it? I want to know. I really honestly want to know, because these are the types of attitudes. Everybody has the right to their own body, and everybody has the right to their own nutrition, even if it is detrimental to them. However, if you know, like, and care about anybody else in your life that wants you around, you wouldn't do 90% of the horrible things that you could possibly do to your body ingestion-wise. So, here she is, looking into the camera, screaming at the top of her lungs, talking crazy. But I digress.
Outside.
Open this door now. I can smell what you're up to. You're cooking meat. It's disgusting. It must be like a butcher's shop in there. Just go and live somewhere else where you cook meat to your heart's content.
So you want me? I pay good money for my house, just like you pay good money for yours. How dare you suggest that I have to move? Who are you? This is the type of entitlement that people seem to have and feel with your stuff after you've made purchases with your hard-earned money. These are the type of people that will try to get you kicked out of the neighborhood. These are the type of people that will actually do harm to your home if they felt so inclined to, because they feel entitled to your stuff, to your space, to your livelihood, how to spend your money. Now, there's a difference between me telling y'all stop buying high-priced items just to impress people that you don't like. I'm not forcing you to do so. I'm giving you advice, sound advice that will stretch your money out further, that would allow you to progress in life that much more. That's what I'm trying to do. But I would not feel inclined nor entitled to enter your home and remove your high dollar fashion items to say you shouldn't have this, it's a waste of money. You get my point here? You don't have the right, nor do I have the right to do stuff like that unless you invited me to. So as your personal trainer, as your friendly neighborhood personal trainer, if I were invited to your home to help you fix your diet, to help you fix your lifestyle, and you gave me permission to go through all your cabinets and refrigerator and freezer and cupboards and all of that stuff, and I get to throw out what I deem improper to be ingesting on your fitness journey, absolutely I would do it. If given permission. I am not entitled to no one's house, even my friends and family that I know, love, and trust, to go over there and just start removing stuff. I can say something about it, but to actually have the nerve to remove it or suggest that they move from where they live because they're eating something that I don't approve of, make it make sense. The unmitigated gall of you individuals is disgusting. Okay? But I'm going to move on from that one. And we are going back to back. Let's see. So, Tony Baker is a comedian, and Tony Baker is a wonderful comedian. Very funny. And as a man, I want to turn around and address a few things, because some of the things that I be hearing y'all talk about and see y'all talk about online is absolutely nauseating at times, and highly, it drains my brain of brain cells, precious brain cells. Sometimes I just hate even reading it. The nonsense that espouses from your mouth or from your fingers. It just drives me insane. However, this particular one, it's women calling men sassy, men calling other men sassy when it comes to this particular thing.
I think the sassy part, it comes out as really what we're getting at is the emotional side of it.
Right.
Like, obviously, dude arguing with a woman, and it's like, that's emotional, which we consider to be, quote, female trait.
Right.
Then it makes you sassy because now you're arguing with a woman.
Now you and your feelings. Oh,
yeah, you and your feelings. You're sassy now.
You sassy, man. You feeling stuff? Sassy.
Oh. Okay, let's stop right there. First of all, arguing with a woman. What defines arguing in your minds, fellas? What actually entails arguing, right? So are we talking about, hey, I need you to stop spending $500 out of the funds that we need to pay bills? Well, I'm gonna do what I want. Woman, I need you to stop spending the money out of the funds that we need to pay bills. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Is that what y'all are calling arguing? Because if that's what you call arguing, sassy forever, right here. Okay? If I'm right, and I'm right about what I am asking for, I'm going to argue tooth, nail, left, right. Now, if you're talking about what, like, that's why I ate the last of the cereal. Aha! If you talking about stuff like that, yeah, I can see why that could be considered a little sassy in terms of arguing. If that is your definition of arguing with a woman, then yes. Then I would consider that possibly sassy. And that's why your head's bald. And what? You make me feel like, I be feeling like I just want to shake you sometimes, stuff like that. Then yeah, I get it. Then I would maybe, but if you're talking about, I need help with this. I need help with these bills. I ain't paying no bills. Girl, you better get out of my face with that nonsense. I ain't doing this and I ain't doing that. I'm not helping you with the dishes. I'm not helping you with this. I'm not going to turn around and do this. And I'm not doing that either. And I'm like, we need you to do it. I need you to do it. I'm doing other things and I need you to do it. If that is the conversation, if this is the argument that we're having, then I'm going to argue for the rest of my damn life because I ain't going nowhere to say what I need to say when I need what I need. A closed mouth don't get fed. But in terms of like bickering back and forth and all of that stupid nonsense, then yes, maybe I would agree with that. But let's continue.
Have feelings in this thing? Nah, man. Men don't have feelings. And that's the problem, y'all. Y'all gotta let men have feelings out here. All right? All that bottling up, all that keeping it in. 90% of doctors will tell you, be careful about stress. They blame a lot of our health ailments on stress all the time. And a big factor in stress is that you just holding back feelings, you internalizing, and that's just going to add to your stress count.
I ain't doing that. You could ask anybody, whether I work with them, whether I work for them, whether I live with them. I'm not holding it in. I already got enough gray hairs on my face and on top of my head. I am not holding jack crap in just to keep you feeling some type of way. If there's something pissing me off, you best rest assured I'm going to tell you. If there's something that is out of pocket, if it's something that is moving wrong, it doesn't look right, it doesn't smell right, it's not moving good, I'm going to say something because closed mouths don't get fed. I'm not that person. And if that's what you're expecting out of me, I'm sorry that I'm sassy. And I'll take it. I don't give a damn. Because imagine me holding in all this crap while you unleash it upon everybody else and you expect me to eat it? While you live to be 1,000, I die at 25. I know I'm 47 going on 48, but still, you get my point. I ain't dying for you. I ain't killing myself for you. I might die for you in terms of protection and providing, but at the same time, and I might work myself hard because that is what a man's supposed to do, is earn his paycheck. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now. You violating, you stepping on my toes, you stepping on my ding-a-ling, I promise you, I am going to say something. I'm not going anywhere to say it. And if anybody that watches this channel knows me, you put a comment in there letting everybody know that that I'm not even faking the funk on this. I'll try to be nice the first couple of times, but after a while, I'm not going to be nice. There's no more being nice. I've tried to let you know that this is not something that we would like to continue, but you continue on with it, I'm gonna turn around and let you know. And it is not going to be nice. That's the New York in me. The Bronx in me is going to come out. I always say to people, don't make the Bronx come out of me. And I really do mean that. Because the Bronx version of me is abrasive. And if you thought you've met the Bronx version of me, you probably haven't. I promise you, you probably haven't. Very few people have really gotten full Bronx Julien. Very few. Okay, so if that's what that is, sassy I am.
And then the next thing you know, you dead. And men, we die earlier than women already. So then when we do emote or we let you know our feelings are hurt or we got feelings on this and we express that, now we deemed sassy or emotional or in their feelings. So it's like, well, damn, what we supposed to do? We supposed to be quiet. We supposed to be internal. We're going to take it in. We're going to hold it in. Then we're going to explode violently on somebody. Or even worse, we going to start shooting. Or we just going to blow off steam with physical violence. There has to be, a healthy flow of just expressing yourself. without the, because I'm a sensitive person. Like, you know, I've always been sensitive since I was a kid. You know, I've always been like sensitive, and you know, if you yell at me, I take that. Like, I don't like it. I don't like getting yelled at, and so that's enough for me. I'm like, oh man, my feelings are hurt. Or when I get angry, I used to cry. I used to, like, you know, when I'm mad, the tears would flow.
My mom watches this channel. I know she does. And sensitivity was my middle name. Still kind of is, in certain ways. The thing that I'll tell you is this. Every man has the right to feel. How much you feel, there's a balance. Not everything out of your mouth should be like, I feel like crap. I feel sad. I'm tired. I don't want to work today. I just feel like just crawling in my bed and hiding. No. That's not the flow. You know what I'm saying? Every man has to be balanced, but I'm going to tell you something. Y'all keep acting like men can't express themselves, and this is where the violence comes from, like he said. You bottle it in, and when things are under pressure, if a container can only hold so much pressure, and some containers are weaker than others. It's just that simple. Nothing is equal. Nothing is always the same strength. Can you imagine your lemonade at full strength? No water, no sugar, just lemon. Always just extra tangy? Nah. It's got to be some sweetness. Can you imagine your lemonade extra sweet? No. It's gross, right? It has to be balanced. All I'm saying is, allow a man to tell you how you feel. Don't be having this nonsense about getting the ick. I got the ick, girl, because he turned around and he told me he was feeling some type of way about how I was going out, and I thought that was sassy. I thought he was lame. I lost all my respect for him after he turned around and he cried in front of me. His mom died. His grandma died. His cousin died. His uncle died. You know, the homie. The man can't cry? We ain't saying, you know, he was watching something and just started bawling. You mean to tell me he can't cry? He can't complain to you about what he's experiencing at work? This is why I'm glad I'm married, and I'm glad I'm married to the woman I'm married to. Now, am I going in and unless it's ongoing, my wife will not hear me complain about work every single day. I might say, these mofos getting on my nerves. I might say, I'm happy today. I might say, dang, blank, 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 blank. But it's not going to be every moment of every day. And no. It might be a 10-minute conversation. I might need to blow off some steam because it's not worth my job. I might complain about something that's happening because I don't want it to affect my relationship with my wife, in the sense that I'm holding this in and I'm angry and I'm grumpy and I'm just short, pun intended. And I'm just, it's all of it. I don't want to be that way. I want to be kind as much as I can to everyone around me. I want to be decent and respectable to everyone around me when it is required. Like I said, don't push me, don't cross me, don't step on me, because if you do, you're going to find out real fast how it goes. But what you also don't want is somebody to lose control over themselves entirely, to the point where they lose their job. Somebody might lose their life. Somebody might be harmed in a fashion that they can't necessarily recover from. Well, you don't want that. Nobody wants that. So how about we allow people to feel some type of way? If but for a moment, help them get through it and then help them process it, help them get over it. If it needs to be gotten over, if it needs to be gotten through, get through it and move on.
You know, you would piss me off to the point of the tears was ready. The tears was like, yo, man, let's do this, Tone. We mad, we rolling out. And they roll out.
Fight when tears would be rolling
in mid-fight sometimes. In mid-fight, I got the tears. Yep. So it's just like...
And then I'll hyperventilate and be so angry that I have to beat you
I am a sensitive being, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff be getting to me, man. I'll be crying. I'll be folding up. You know what I'm saying? I'll be taking stuff to heart. I'll be offended. You know what I mean? But like in this day and age, you can't be too sensitive as a man. Now you're soft. Now you're feminine. Now you're in your feelings. And so, but I'm not about to hold feelings back.
Nope.
Just because, you know, it's not seen as manly. I'm like, man, listen, man. I'm hurt. My feelings is hurt.
Yep.
You know, and we have to allow that. We got to allow men to be able to feel things and express that without the extra judgment. You know, now some people are like oversensitive.
Yeah.
They overly sensitive about everything, and then it's just like, man, now I got to walk on eggshells with you because everything is gonna have you in your feelings.
I won't be around you. You're exhausted.
I've never been in that realm, but you know. And I think that's what makes me funny, is that I am sensitive and observant, and I feel things and I express things a certain way. And I think that appeals to certain people.
Get that oven mitt out my
face,
face,
and then some
Frank.
people are like, man, you always complaining and fussing about stuff. You know, the hard dudes in the comment section that got no feelings, they androids.
Go find that
Forever
video
tough.
where he voices over this cat fighting over
be like, man, I don't
oven
know
mitt.
you.
Oh, that's some funny stuff.
I don't know you.
Okay. Yes. Shout out to Tony Baker. Tony Baker is hilarious. That sensitivity that he's talking about does make him funny, because when he does those voiceovers over animals or anything else, oh my God, he is funny. He is literally funny. But let's continue this journey that we are on today. All right. Okay. We already did that one. We already did that one. So, okay. We also, on this channel, we also celebrate physical feats. And I want to show y'all this because this is crazy.
What the hell? What? Wow, her balance is absolutely amazing.
Okay. That is wild. Do you know how strong and balanced you have to be in order to do that? She is riding down a hill and she never faltered at all. That is levels of physical control that is exceptional. That is exceptional. To be able, first of all, just to be able to do a handstand is great. To be able to do a handstand and hold it for that long is even better. But to be able to hold a handstand for that long on a skateboard that is moving down a hill, salute. Because that is certified gangster. I mean, that is just insane. That is insane. Now, here is a video that I came across, and I have to tell y'all need to fall back on certain attitudes about certain things, because, hear me out. As a matter of fact, better yet, let's watch the video. Okay, so I'm going to play it again, but this time without the sound. So I want you to read those comments. I'm going to pause it every time those comments pop up, and I'm going to go through other ones. Okay, you're seeing it for yourself. She shouldn't move like that in front of students. First of all, let's start with, where are we? I don't even know where she is, but we already know she's in a foreign country. Several reasons why. There's certain things that just gives it away, right? Number one, I should probably move it because it looks a little off for me. So she shouldn't move like that in front of her students, right? Those moves are for the club, right? Okay, we don't know if that is a cultural dance. Just because you pop your thigh pocket doesn't mean that everybody's doing it for the same reasons. Now, don't get me wrong. I am fully aware that it is in fact a means to advertise oneself to the opposite sex, or even to the same sex for that matter. However, it's still cultural. So not just because she's dancing that way doesn't mean that that is what her intent is, right? So let's view some comments that we saw about this. I actually saw myself. So some people were like, first of all, somebody said, kids see worse things on the internet. Don't get it twisted. 100% true. I've had middle school students get caught watching Korn. And I'm not talking about the band. Substitute some letters, right? So if they watch Korn and play violent video games, it's okay for a teacher to twerk in front of them. Get a grip. I don't even know how that's phrased. There's a time and place for everything. This is neither. The music, was the music her music? Did she invite this music, or is this a celebration in her native country in a way that, in a place where they don't see things that particular way every single time? Now, I will say, if she grabbed a male or female student and began dancing with them that way, then we're having another conversation, because this is another country. Here in America, absolutely this would be inappropriate, 100%. However, you don't get to dictate what is appropriate and what is inappropriate in a country you don't reside in. That's again like me going to your house and telling you that it's inappropriate for you to wash your clothes in the tub. That's not my business. You washed your clothes. However, it means you mean to get your clothes washed. I don't care how you do it, as long as your clothes are clean. I don't get to dictate to this teacher how she dances in front of her students in her native country, because her native country might not see things the way we see them here. Those kids might not be looking at her the way we're looking at her here. Yes, she's got some tight pants on. She's got a little something back there. and she's moving in a certain way, but it doesn't mean that that's how she's moving. Because let me tell you something, where I'm from, where my family's from, I can go and dance with a woman I've never met a day in my life as if she were, like she grew up with me, like she was like my next door neighbor. And it won't matter. She could be, now obviously age does have a factor in it. I'm not going to go dancing up on a 12-year-old, okay? However, in the culture that I'm from, anybody that is grown to 90, if they could move, they could get all this work. Obviously, this work is still not sexual. I am not trying to perform for them. Now, at the same time, if I am single, I could perform for them and still attract them as an adult. But at the same time, there are ways that there are parameters that could put things in place that would allow you to dance with someone in a suggestive way that is not actually suggestive. How you grab them, where your hands are placed as you're doing these moves will then suggest what the suggestion may or may not be. So if I'm dancing with a woman, my hands are away from her, and she's throwing it back on me, and my hands are up, I'm not going to assume that she wants to be with me. And she's not going to assume that I want to be with her. Now, considering that my wife is American, my wife will not it will not take that too kindly. So I know I still have to show her respect from the vision, from the standpoint that she's standing from. Okay? But if she ever saw Carnival August Monday, where my family's from, and she just saw the footage of waves of people just walking down the street dancing, and it don't matter, because you'll see an old woman with a young man, an old man with a young woman. Nobody's going home to do anything crazy. They just dance and they sweating and they dance behind this truck with full of subwoofers. Then to me, that's just the culture. Shoot, I could dance with family like that. Ain't happening. Nothing's happening. But the dance is the dance, right? So just because that's not what you do here in America doesn't mean that you have the right to dictate how a teacher or an adult carries themselves amongst children in another country. There are some things that are universally inappropriate, 100%. No matter where you are, no matter what time of day, what time of year, there are certain things that are virtually inappropriate amongst all civilized society. But this wasn't one of them. And as a teacher, I would tell everybody, mind the business. Don't act like we live in a proper society nowadays. Come on, man. Again, just because you can find it on the internet doesn't make it appropriate. Only if you allow them to. Okay? I don't care about Colby Covington. Kick rocks. Okay. Guys, one of the things that I want to touch base is one more thing that I want to touch base on. And let me get to it. And actually, we are at 202 subscribers. We are at 202 subscribers now, which is good. Let's see. Go to watch later. There's a couple videos actually. Let's start with this one.
Did you know lifting weights isn't just for muscles?
When you squat, your spine is compressed with load. Given proper recovery after heavy training, the vertebral bones can actually become stronger and more dense.
Here's how elite powerlifter Brian Carroll used this science of building bone to heal his back and develop superhuman strength to squat 1,306 pounds. Now, when you fracture a bone, you develop a small callus that hardens as the area heals. If you were to take an MRI of serious strength athletes, you would often see small microfracturing in their bones. But because they use good programming and don't train heavy every single day, they allow their body to recover and develop very strong bones. When you stress a bone with load, it creates an electric charge that pulls in and lays down magnesium and calcium to build a stronger bone. So Dr. Stuart McGill and Brian did a bone callousing experiment on his injured spine, squatting and then taking 4 days of rest to allow the healing to calcify in. Not only did his back heal, but he developed that superhuman strength.
Okay.
But I did know from the other side, if I might say,
don't care about that.
somebody else.
So, okay. So let's start with that. When you are, this is one of the reasons why I always will and never will stop promoting weightlifting. No matter what your gender, no matter what your age, none of that doesn't matter to me. You can be strong as a result of all of this if you do this right. Okay? And the healing of the body is important. And how we go and navigate things is also important. I'm looking for my last video so I can, excuse me. No, it's not. Where's the video? There's one more video I want to watch, but it's in relation to all of this. But when you are building your body, you must stop thinking about age, stop thinking about your fitness level currently, focus on the procedure and the time spent in that procedure instead of, oh, I'm too old. I think I'm brittle. No, we're not trying to hear that. We're definitely not trying to hear that at all. Where is he? You know what? Let's go to subscriptions. All right. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. Let me find my subscription, Dr. Chris. Here we go. So, let me explain to you as a personal trainer, as somebody that actually went to college for athletic training, right? As someone that did that, I want y'all to understand a couple of things. I would be working hand in hand with an orthopedic surgeon or an orthopedic doctor just to make sure that you guys understand that this is the level of skills that I actually have. That I actually will work with doctors to further enhance whether it's a surgery or whether it's a diagnosis that a doctor is giving you, and then following the directives of that specific doctor allows me to quote unquote play in the parameters that has been placed around me. So if a doctor tells me I need 15 degrees of knee flexion by the end of the week, however, do not do A, B, C, or D, then that's how I play. I go, oh, okay, so you told me don't do these things, so I'm gonna do these other things that I can get away with, and it's still going to be within the process of what it is that you asked me to do. Okay? Dr. Chris Rayner is a Canadian orthopedic surgeon, but it does not matter where he is an orthopedic surgeon. What matters is that he's an orthopedic surgeon, and if he were to entrust me with his patients, you best rest assured that I am going to do the absolute best that I can do to see it through, that his patient is going to see amazing results after their surgery. Because I have news for you. I rehab myself. Well, 90% of the way. I got instructions from my doctor. I got instructions from my physical therapist, and I took that information and I created my own program. And I am, even though I'm not 100%, I'm pain-free in regards to how I feel, and I have full mobility in my hip. Okay? So with that being said, I must have done an amazing job, which means I know what I'm doing. All right? But anyway, let's get to Dr. Chris.
Some of you are going to be triggered by what I'm going to say here, but it needs to be said, so I'm going to put it out there. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, and I want the best results for my patients, whether they have surgery or not. There is one thing that people need to understand about rehab if they're going to achieve the optimal result, and that is that effective rehab hurts. Let me repeat. There is a certain amount of discomfort that is associated with rehab that is normal and expected. Discomfort doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong or that you have screwed something up. It is a normal part of the process of taking a broken, inflexible, weak body part and turning it into a strong, mobile, and functional body part. You should expect it and be prepared to work through it to get back to normal function. On a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is no pain and 10 is the worst pain that could be imagined, discomfort between 4 and 6 that occurs while doing therapy and stops immediately after you stop exercising is normal. Is there any pain that is not normal? Yes. Pain that is higher than 7 out of 10 while performing therapy, or pain that does not go away after you have stopped therapy, is more concerning, and you should check with your physician if it occurs. But sometimes you gotta put your big boy pants on and suck it up. And that's why, in order to do the job, or some of you are gonna be triggered by what I'm...
Okay, so I'm gonna land this plane, but I'm gonna say this. This is exactly why my wife calls me mean. My wife has been calling me mean ever since I became a trainer. And this is why I created the acronym MEAN in the first place, is to combat the attitude that I was getting from her when I was training her years ago. Because she would complain to me that something hurts. And I was like, I understand it hurts, but this is not to the level of where I didn't break your leg with a bat. It doesn't feel like I'm taking a bat to your leg. It doesn't feel like I'm taking a bat to your shoulder. It might feel uncomfortable, but it is not to the detriment of your existence. Your eyes are not rolling in the back of your head. Now, does that mean that all pain should not be felt? No. It means let's be sensitive about things here. There's other maladies that we could use once the protocol is over. We could ice, we could apply heat, we could take an NSAID, we could do all kinds of stuff that is legal to do. We can massage it, we can stretch it, we can ultrasound it, which is technically a little bit of heat, still would be a heating technique. We could put infrared lights on it. We could do all kinds. We could put it in a leg sleeve. We could wrap it. We could do all kinds of stuff to ensure that the pain level is anywhere between a 4 to 6, maybe even 7 if we're pushing it. Especially if we're giving it enough time to recover from the trauma that was done to it. If we give it enough time to recover from the trauma, then a 7 can actually still be beneficial, but a 4 to 6 is ideal, but 7 to 8 is pushing it as long as you fall back from it. So for instance, let me give you an example. Give you an example of my wrist. If I work out and my wrist is, when I'm done with my workout, my wrist is now at a 9 or an 8. If I don't stress it for the next 3 to 4 days, then I think it'll be worth it for me to do it. Because even though that wrist hurted at the time that I performed, I'm giving it enough time to recover. Now, if I turn around and it's day after day after day, it's an 8, it's an 8, it's an 8. Then one day it's a 9, and then it's an 8, it's an 8, it's an 8. But we don't never get down to the 4s, the 3s, the 2s, the 1s. Then it's going to become unbearable, and then all that's going to happen is that it's going to just turn into a chronic injury as opposed to it's healing and creating stronger, tougher bone matter in the process. Does that make sense? I don't want y'all thinking that pain tolerance is a indicator of how much harder I need to go on you before you break. I don't want you to cry. I don't want you to have tears rolling down your face. That's not the purpose of training. Anybody that thinks or suggests that to you, run. But you should be uncomfortable. There should be some burning of the muscle. Muscle should burn. Your knees should have some tingling going on. You might feel a little ginger getting off the machine for a little bit. You got to walk it off, right? Your feet might hurt a little while. You might be breathing heavy to where you thought that you're going to lose your breath. That's fine. But if the pain you're experiencing is if you could compare it to childbirth, if you could compare it to being shot, if you could compare it to being stabbed, if you could compare it to the worst pains imaginable, and that is your actual description, you're not hypochondriacing, if that's a word, and I don't think it is, but if that's what you're doing, that is when you need to fall back. And if your trainer does not listen to you on that level, find another trainer. If your physical therapist doesn't listen to you, find another physical therapist. There's a fine line, like I said. If it's an 8 today and he ices it or she ices it and it falls back to a 4 or 6, you give them some grace. They're doing the best that they can to help you recover from whatever surgery or whatever injury you have amassed. However, if they're knocking you to an 8, 9, and even a 10, and they are in no concern or regard for your feelings or your emotional state of trauma, find another therapist, find another trainer, find another chiropractor, find whatever that individual is that is not taking your feelings at heart. Guys, that is my time. I appreciate you We are at 202 subscribers and counting. I am enjoying this. I want to see these numbers grow. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me, chat with me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. It will get the algorithm up and people will get to see the brilliance that is this channel. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class is stout.